This is the third tweet in the Learn Kubernetes in 10 Tweets saga. Let's go through tweet number 3 and talk about the benefits of Kubernetes, being that it's highly available and fault tolerant by nature. If you notice by the diagram here, we see a pod YAML, which is a specification to build a deployment. And that in turn creates a replica set and a number of pods based on the replicas that you provide. And therefore, in any deployment, whether that pod is killed or whether it runs out of resources, it can automatically respawn a pod on another node or however it sees fit based on the rules, the built-in rules of that replica set. So let's take a look at what that looks like. If we do kubectl create deploy nginx and use an nginx image, and let's do a dry run equals client, and then output the YAML, and then we'll output that to a file named deploy.yaml, just to recreate what's in that diagram there. And then if we take a look at that deployment manifest, so let's open that up in Vim. We'll see this is very similar to our diagram. And let's just go ahead and create replicas to equal 5. And just scroll down to see the whole thing here. We're using the nginx image with the latest tag because that's assumed and has the label app equals nginx. So we'll go ahead and save and quit. And then we can actually create this deployment by submitting this YAML to the API. So we'll do kubectl apply, or we could also do kubectl create -f and then to deploy that YAML. And so that created our deployment. So we can do kubectl get deployments, or deploy for short. And we see all of our replicas are already up. So we can see them here by typing in kubectl get pods, and there's all 5 of them. And if you notice, they have a prefix of the deployment name followed by a hash value. And we can even go so far as to kill one of these pods to demonstrate the fault tolerance. So we can do kubectl delete pod, or PO for short. And let's just take the top one, copy and paste that name in. And then if we get pods again, no longer do we see the one ending in 8G25Q. We now see a new one that is C5WW6, right? Yep, and that's all thanks to the replica set, which we can see by typing kubectl get replica set, or RS for short. And we see this is the resource in Kubernetes that's keeping track of how many are desired. So how many replicas did we state in our pod YAML, or our deployment YAML rather. How many are current, meaning how many are spun up and deployed, and then how many are ready. So it's always comparing those 3 columns.